Hi, I'm your host, Marsha, Florence, but just as. Today our show is Prison Fellowship Ministries. Hurry back and join us. Hi, I'm your host, Marsha, Florence, but just as. Today our show is Prison Fellowship Ministries, and we have as our guest the field director, Shannon Gaston of the Southeast Michigan District. Hi, Shannon.
Hi, Marsha. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming. Thank you. Now, you know what, Shannon, I know that normally we are the kind of program that takes care of information that's medically inclined, but we had a call in reference to doing something quite different, which was something about fellowship ministry and dealing with the prison systems. And so we welcome you here today for bringing light onto the subject. So can you tell me what is your role there and what is prison fellowship ministry?
Well, first, let me thank you for responding to that call to do something different that you don't normally cover, as a topic. So I appreciate that opportunity. Prison Fellowship Ministries is a national ministry. As a matter of fact, we are 30 years old this year, and we are in every state in the union as well as in 114 countries. So there is a Prison Fellowship International component to what we do. And what we do is we seek the transformation of the prisoner as well as his reconciliation back to God, his family, and the community. And so we do that through a variety of programs that we have that are both in prison as well as outside of the prison. And so we have field directors across the country who facilitate ministry through their state's Department of Corrections.
Okay. Now, are you yourself, are you a minister or field director?
Well, I'm not a licensed minister,
Okay.
But Prison Fellowship is a Christian ministry.
Okay.
And so the people who are on staff with Prison Fellowship are believers, in Jesus Christ, because what we do is ministry, which is different in a lot of ways than your typical life skills kinds of things that, secular organizations might provide, even though we provide those kinds of resources as well. But everything that we do as Prison Fellowship Ministries is Bible-based.
Okay. Now let me ask you this, do prisoners actually seek out you guys' services, or do you go into the prison system? How do one connect?
Okay, that's a good question. We interface through the chaplain, and so what's interesting is that, like I say, prior to 1976, our history is connected to our founder, which is Chuck Colson. Some of your viewers might be familiar with him as relates to the whole Watergate scandal with former President Nixon. And so God met and transformed Chuck as a result of his 3-year incarceration with Prison Fellowship. So prior to that, there was no ministry for prisoners, statewide or nationally even. And so as a result of that, now you have prison ministries all across the country. And so the way that we get into the system is through the chaplain. The chaplain is responsible for conducting, services and arranging to meet the spiritual needs of the prisoner. Okay, so there are other than just Christian programs that the chaplain is responsible for. Okay, so the chaplain may ask for volunteers or churches to facilitate different services. And then they post those days and times when there's a worship service going on, or when there's a Bible study, or when there's a seminar. And the prisoners who want to avail themselves to those kinds of services and resources, they take advantage of them.
Okay. Now, what about the types of religion? Since there are so many different types of religion, is there any particular one, or are you guys the kind that try to make sure that services are available for each type?
Right. Like I said, that's the chaplain's responsibility to facilitate and be sensitive to the other faith systems.
Okay.
And so they have different programming slots available. And if they are able to recruit volunteers, they can have those other services. You have Catholic services, you have Muslims, you have Jehovah's Witnesses. It just so happens that the Protestant Christian programming is a greater demand for that. And so we have a great number of volunteers who respond to that need. And so as a result, there is a lot of Christian programming going on.
Okay, okay. Now, your role as a field director, what do you go out and do?
Okay. As field director, my primary responsibility is to facilitate the ministry taking place inside of the prisons, and that happens through the local body of Christ. We have about 50,000 prisoners roughly in the state of Michigan, and spread across maybe 43 prisons and camps. Now, like I say, chaplains have a different set of opportunities as far as where there's an opportunity to do Bible study. So my task is to be the hands and feet for that chaplain to recruit the local volunteer, at local churches. And so as a result, we have a network of over 300 volunteers across the state and partnerships with over 600 churches. Because as you can imagine, myself, I'm not able to go into the prisons and do the Bible studies myself. And so basically we're facilitating the body of Christ being able to do what Scripture tells us that we are to do, which is to visit the prisoner. And so it's a good position to be in, because I feel like I'm kind of being a facilitator of ministry, where the church, like this brochure here says, extend your reach. And so I'm helping the local church extend its reach behind the walls, because unlike the common perception, there is a remnant of people who actually are serious about their faith behind the walls.
Okay, okay, that's wonderful. I mean, a lot of people get the perception that once you're in prison that you have no faith or you don't believe in Christ or anything like that, and that's that. You're there for a reason according to your crime. But there are some women and men who are willing to put in to change, who want change in their life and order in their life and forgiveness. So it is up to you all to help them get over to that point where they want to show that they have changed?
Yes, that is the essence of what we do. Our goal as a ministry, if we could sum it up in 2 words, would be transformational discipleship. And one of the things, like you were talking about, people questioning whether or not people do have faith, one of the things we find is that people sometimes think that the conversion experience wasn't authentic because, they call it a jailhouse conversion. And of course, you're going to find religion there because of the situation. But the truth is that a lot of people honestly do have time to reflect and to think and be introspective and get a chance to go to a Bible study and reflect on their faith. And so we believe that transformation is very much a part of who God is and what He does. We can look at, examples in Scripture where people were murderers and still were used by God because He's able to transform people if we allow Him to and if we believe that He can.
Okay. Well, Shannon, I can't even go top that statement right there. We're going to go to a break, ladies and gentlemen, and come back with some more very interesting information about Prison Fellowship Ministries. We'll be right back.
How do you convince a 14-year-old girl that hair doesn't matter? When the diagnosis is childhood cancer, CureSearch.org can help. You're not as alone as you feel.
And welcome back to the show. For those of you who are just not joining us, we have with us the field director, Shannon Gaston of the Southeast Michigan chapter. Should we say chapter or area?
That's okay.
Okay, sorry, chapter for Prison Fellowship Ministry. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I know you're saying, what are we doing here? Well, what we're trying to do is get you to understand that even within the prison system, there is people who want to have their faith known and that they want to convert and be a part of Christ instead of just saying, hey, I ran off the road, lost my way, and can't find your way back. You can find your way back, and this is one of those programs that will lead you in that direction, okay? So now, Shannon, I know that there's got to be a lot of different programs up under the field, the Prison Fellowship Ministry, so give us a couple of them.
Yeah, we have, like I said, a variety of resources that we provide both in prison and out of prison. I guess the probably most well-known program is Angel Tree, which is a year-round program for the children of prisoners. Because if you can imagine that families and children are left behind when a parent is incarcerated, there are tremendous amounts of need and trauma that they have to work through. So Angel Tree is one of our programs. We also have a pen pal program that enables individuals, who may not be able or interested in going inside to help do some small group Bible studies and things like that. They're able to write a prisoner. Okay. A lot of them don't have people who are writing them and are disconnected from their families. And so we facilitate a pen pal program. And we also provide mentors to help them successfully reintegrate once they are about to be released, as well as mentors for the children through the Angel Tree program. So those are just a couple of the programs that we provide through Prison Fellowship.
Okay, now I know we want to talk more about the Angel Tree program because I don't think a lot of people know, at least I'm going to be honest, I didn't really pay too much attention to what happens to the children of incarcerated parents. I mean, especially if both of the parents, if something should happen to both of the parents. Exactly what does Angel Tree do?
Well, Angel Tree is the only national year-round ministry specifically geared towards children who have a parent or parents that is incarcerated. And we have a saying that when a parent is incarcerated, the child also does hard time. Okay, you know, dealing with the peer pressure of, you know, where's your dad, or, you know, having to respond to the teasing that might happen if it's common knowledge that they have a parent incarcerated. And so an alarming statistic that might be helpful to for your viewers to understand is whether or not a child has a parent incarcerated has become the #1 predicting factor as to whether that child will end up incarcerated. It's no longer race, it's no longer socioeconomic status. A child with a parent incarcerated is actually 7 times more likely to become incarcerated themselves. And so when we talk about, my background is youth work, you know, and working with children. And so when we talk about at-risk or high-risk children, you might hear those terms thrown around a lot. But the most at risk of the high risk is a child with a parent incarcerated. And so that's why Angel Tree is probably our most well-known program, because we're trying to prevent the child following into the parent's footsteps and becoming incarcerated themselves.
Now, is there an age of the children that you all have provided service for? Is there age criteria?
Yeah, well, a child cannot be the recipient of services through Angel Tree programs if they're 18 or older. So from 0 to 17.
Okay.
You know, with starting with Angel Tree Christmas, then there's Angel Tree Camping, and then there's Angel Tree Mentoring.
Okay.
And so nationally, we have served over 7.5 million children through Angel Tree, which came about in 1982, which is 6 years after Prison Fellowship was founded by a woman who, when she got out, wanted to work with children who had a parent incarcerated based on what she saw the women that she was incarcerated with struggling with during the holidays. And so that's the inception, an abbreviated version of how Angel Tree got started.
Okay, okay. So with the small children and everything, you guys trying to provide a Christmas for them more or less? Or, you know, are you asking for donations and things like that for the Angel Tree part for Christmas? How does that go?
What happens is, like I say, we have 16,000 children this year that we'll be serving through Angel Tree Christmas. And the incarcerated parent actually signs their child up. We go into the prisons June through September. And that gift is an example of the love of that parent who's incarcerated to help that child know that they are not forgotten, that the parent that's incarcerated does love them, and it's also a way to expose that child to the love of Christ. And so we're ministering the gospel to that child, as well as helping them to stay connected to the family. And so churches are able to participate by, because we can give you the names of children and families in your own zip code. And so we're able to say, okay, we have 50 children in your zip code who have a parent incarcerated. And so churches sign up. We have a great response from churches. And so we're always in need of additional support from churches through donations and through volunteering. And so beyond just the holiday season, like I say, Angel Tree serves those children year round. And so, like I say, if you can imagine 16,000 children, you know, each child receives 2 gift items, a clothing item and a toy item. And so those churches facilitate getting those gifts to those children, you know, with the support of their congregation. You know, so there's a great need when you think of, you know, 32,000 gifts, if you know, 16,000, you know, times 2. So
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. I mean, just knowing that the church is involved as well as the community can become involved is most important for the general public to know that you can be a volunteer. Okay, so I'm assuming that you have a phone number for volunteers.
Yes, yes. Okay. They can contact me directly at our southeastern offices, which is 313-420-2306. And that is, you know, the number directly to my office, and I can get you trained and get you involved in any number of the programs I've mentioned.
Okay, you want to give us that number again?
Yeah, it was 313-420-2306.
Okay. Now, I'll tell you what we're going to do to support what you just told us about the Angel Tree. segment, what we're going to do is try to run a little footage of what we're going to see if a person wants to get involved, okay? Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, instead of going to a commercial break, let's check out some footage from the Angel Tree.
Being the child of a prisoner is tough. In fact, sociologists call prisoners' kids some of the most at-risk of at-risk children in America today. Often from backgrounds of violence or abuse and drugs. It's a tough, tough situation. But you know, perhaps the toughest part is the most basic. Growing up without a parent. Growing up with either a mother or father or both, locked away in a dark cell somewhere in America's prisons. Angel Tree is a ministry of prison fellowship that helps connect and reconcile families by providing a Christmas gift to children in your community who have a parent, a mother or father, in prison.
I spent 10 years in prison, 7 years the first time and 3 years the second time. When I signed up for Angel Tree, I didn't know the impact that it would have on my children's life or my life. For some reason, my children didn't understand, exactly how I felt about them. But once the gift was given, it allowed the child to understand, gosh, my dad really loves me. He really cares about me. It's the most amazing thing that Angel Tree could reconnect my family back to me. I have made the adjustment, personally made the adjustment, all because of what Jesus Christ did for me. It was the greatest ministry that anybody could have provided for me at that time.
Not only does this ministry transform the children and prisoners that are involved, but over the years we have found it transforms all of us as we get involved to serve.
The families just are so elated, and the children just smiles on their faces, just says everything about what Christmas really is about.
I've seen the effects from the Angel Tree Ministry from the inside and from the outside. I served 3 years and 10 days in prison myself. I love going out at night and delivering these gifts for the simple fact that I know what they're going through. I wasn't there to receive that joy when I sent the gift myself, so it really felt good to see these families enjoy that.
When we give them a gift with their parent's name on it, it just lights up the child's face and gives them hope that their parent loves them.
And as the churches give gifts, they take the time to share the greatest gift of all, the gift of salvation. And as many churches are finding out, it's a very effective way to open doors that would otherwise be closed.
What I love about being the pastor of a church in Angel Tree is we get an opportunity to minister to the children in the community around us. Every community across this nation has children who have been impacted by the criminal justice system. And I believe that's why every church should be involved in this type of ministry.
And if we as a church can be seen as a beacon of light to these kids, then possibly these kids won't take the same path that their parents have taken.
It really is a great ministry. And it's not only a great way to initiate a relationship, but to continue those relationships over the long haul.
My hope for these children is that their lives will be changed, that they never go down the path that their parents chose.
I think it's important that we support these type ministries just so that we can build family. We need family.
And it all starts with a gift.
It starts with a gift.
It starts with a gift.
It starts with a gift.
Angel Tree. It does start with a gift, but it continues. And it continues to transform prisoners and their families through the power and the truth of Jesus Christ.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you had a chance to get the message through about the Angel Tree program in reference to watching that video footage, because it's very important to realize that we do have a lot of children out there, and race is not an issue when it comes to children or any other thing at this matter when it comes to Just Ask. So what we want to do is get you all to realize that you can support a program such as this by donating your time. If you have gifts you want to give, or anything that you think that's going to support the efforts of the Angel Tree program and the Prison Fellowship Ministry. Now, Shannon, that was a good piece because, you know, a lot of people may not have known or thought about the children in reference to incarcerated parents. It's just not a thought every day. And then some people may want to hover the fact that that parent is in there for a reason. Now, all parents are not bad parents, but some things happen in life that could not be, you know, avoided. And so we don't want to put a dark spot on the fact that, well, those parents are not accountable. That's just too bad. How do you get past those stigmas for the sake of the children?
Well, I think that again, thank you for having us because it's education. You know, we had a gentleman respond to an ad that we ran in the newspaper, and it was pretty much similar to the cover there, where he just saw these eyes of a child coming out of the paper at him, and he said, you know what, I never thought about what happens to the child when the parent goes to prison. You know, and so I think that being able to have access to a show like this that puts that information out there, it enables people to become sensitized to the fact that, again, the children do hard time also, even though the parent is the one that's incarcerated. And so the child should not have to suffer as a result of a bad decision that the parent made. And so Angel Tree, again, engages the child. Usually the Angel Tree Christmas is the easiest point of engagement, if you will, for a church or a ministry that wants to help out. And then they realize, well, you know, I gave them a gift on behalf of the incarcerated parent. You know, we shared the gospel with them, but we need to do something else between now and next, you know, the next holiday. And so some churches at that point say, well, what else can we do? And that's where we get an opportunity to expose them to a way to send the child to summer camp. Okay. You know, also a way to provide them with a mentor who can walk with them, you know, through those difficult years, those formative years, those teen years, and continue to help shape their character and not become absorbed, you know, again, by the stigma and, you know, some at-risk communities that they might be living in.
Now, is the child covered for all the time frame that the parent is incarcerated?
Potentially.
Okay.
You know, we when we go do sign-ups, you know, it's interesting because you have inmates of all different ages who've had, you know, sentences of varying lengths. And one gentleman came up to us and he was so, you know, thankful and grateful. He said, you know, Angel Tree has provided gifts for my children for 17 years. Wow. And so that year they were no longer eligible. So he's been incarcerated the entire time that his children have been, you know, born. Okay. You know, and so we were like, man, because we hadn't thought about it that way, but he was very thankful, and the gentlemen and the women, you know, who are incarcerated are extremely grateful.
Okay. Okay, well, I didn't want to bypass these lovely brochures because the one we have setting up here, it starts with the gift. Now, this one says starts with the gift. Is this for the Angel Tree program?
Yes, that's specifically for the Angel Tree Christmas.
Now, and I have to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, not only is it in English, it's in Hispanic language too, okay? Which is good because, you know, it doesn't matter if a person is Hispanic, black, white, or whatever. The information that you want to convey should be available in all languages, and that's the plus that you can get this out to individuals. Okay, right. So we did want to let everybody. So you actually mail these out. Yes,
and people can also, you know, where we have offices, you know, where people can also, you know, get them other ways through our mailing list or through our website. You know, if you have interested individuals or churches.
You can give out that web address.
Yeah. Okay, it would be www.angeltree.org, O-R-G. Okay. And it has things that you can download. The video that you just saw, you can download and see it again. Okay. Yeah.
Now, how do you set a prisoner's child free? Wow, this is so compelling right here. This is a lovely picture of a child. Okay, this is a face of innocence. So, you know, I really like this brochure. Now, what's in this program?
Well, that brochure specifically speaks to, in more detail, all of the programs that Angel Tree provides. And see, the reason why this says it starts with the gift is because this is specifically for Angel Tree Christmas. Okay. So, but inside that brochure, it elaborates on how the Christmas program works, how the mentoring works, and how camping works. Okay. And so our goal, again, for that child is to be transformed and to come to know Christ as well, so they can, like I say, have a different path for their own life.
Okay. This is a very warm page of pictures of children here. I like this one here. I hope we get a good shot, because I you know, the eyes, I guess it's just the eyes, the little pretty eyes, is telling you a story that these children are happy. Okay, so.
If I can share just real briefly a story, you know, because this has a lot of impact on young people. We had a young girl, I think she was 6 last year, and she had been an Angel Tree recipient since she was 2. And so she asked her grandmother, because her father was home now, and so she said, Granny, can we do Angel Tree? Because it's probably another little girl like me whose daddy might be in prison. So we need to send some gifts. You know what I mean? So this little girl knew that, someone had shared the love of Christ through a gift for her and her family, and she wanted to make sure that another young lady had that opportunity.
That's nice.
And
That's
so,
nice. That's really sweet. And so you all don't have a problem, or there shouldn't be an issue about children knowing where their parents are. Because some people like to hide the fact that, well, Mom's not coming back right now, dear. So to me, when you tell a child Mommy's not coming back right now, or Mom's going away for a while, it almost puts the frame of mind that either the parent is deceased or has ran off.
What we found is that some caregivers, extended relatives do a better job than others in dealing with how to tell the child what's really going on. In some cases, they are not forthright about where the parent is, and the child has no idea what's going on.
Okay.
So again, I think that adds to the stigma more so than helping the child recognize that what my parent did is not necessarily who they are, if we again believe in the power of transformation. And so I think that you help a child to deal with the real world and the realities of mistakes and rehabilitation and consequences. I mean, but everyone does not do a good job at that.
Oh yeah. Okay. Now this extend your hand research?
Extend your reach.
Extend your reach.
Right.
Okay. Extend your reach. What is this?
Well, that's a brochure that's designed to recruit churches. When I alluded to earlier us having partnerships with over 600 churches statewide to reach those 43,000 people that are incarcerated across the state, I think that it speaks to the reality that if you're, a small congregation, let's just say in mid-Michigan, we can help you get connected to prisons in your area where your church can reach beyond its own four walls into the prison walls.
Okay. And you all have a nice newsletter here. So is this your weekly or monthly? How is this?
Yeah, that's the monthly
This is nice.
newsletter.
Now I gotta now see. We're showing the front page, but you guys see all these nice little ladies in the back. Now all these nice little ladies. Are these volunteers?
Yes, actually those were children who participated in a summer camp through Angel Tree.
Okay.
Right. Wildwood Ranch is one of our partners, and so we have volunteers from the church who go and help to facilitate activities and Bible studies for the children who were Angel Tree children who got a chance to go to camp.
Okay, so these are the children that went to camp?
Yes.
Okay, okay, that's nice. That's really nice. Okay. Well, you guys have a lot of information here and a lot of supportive programming for the children and the adults of the children who are incarcerated. And I think that's a wonderful thing. I mean, really, I have to give hats off to one of our crew persons, Mary Thomas, who asked, could we do this particular program? And I'm like, sure, Mary, not a problem. And so we want to thank Mary for having you come, because that goes to show you that we're very attentive to what goes on into the community. And we hope that we can get this message out for you timely and get some support for you all year long. So we want to give you the opportunity to give out those phone numbers again, or the phone number and the website. What's the phone number?
Well, again, thank you for having me. You could have, told Mary no, but
Oh, no.
Well, thank you.
I don't think Mary's going to let me tell her no. Okay.
Right, because we really appreciate the opportunity. The website for Prison Fellowship Ministries is www.pfm.org. That's prisonfellowshipministries.org, pfm.org, which will link you directly to the Angel Tree site. But if you want to go directly to the Angel Tree site, it would be www.angeltree.org. And then our local phone number is 313-420-2306. And that is my direct office number, and I can get you connected in any of the programs that we've talked about, come out and do a presentation for your church, and explain further how you guys can get involved and extend your reach.
Okay. Well, I think they got the right person doing that, okay? So thank you so much for coming
thank you,
and joining us.
Marsha.
Okay?
Appreciate it.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, every time you tune into us, you learn something new. So you just learned something once again, okay? So all Christmases don't have to be a dark Christmas for children whose parents are unavailable, so to speak. So what I want you to do is take the information that Shannon Gaston gave you and use it wisely. Pass it on to someone who needs it. If not need it, at least you know you have it when you want to volunteer. I'm your host, Marsha Florence for Just Dance. What do I always say? If you know someone with a disability, or if you just have a general question, don't be afraid to ask. Just ask. I'm your host. Thank you.